guys, the forum is open. Quickly, you can have your Q&A session. So Varun is from Merchant Navy. His father used to be a sailor. We met in World Shipping Forum, his father, and then he is an engineering student and he joined the course with us 2018, Varun?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, so now for the last 3 years, he's in the industry. So any questions, Varun? I mean, he specifically wanted to join. He saw my poster in WhatsApp status. He said, ma'am, I want to join the session. I said, please, we are very happy for our guys to join. And so Varun, you can introduce yourself. Yes, and if you have any question on how you felt about the session, please do share.
Hi, sir. Very good afternoon. Thank you for your very encouraging and the light that you shared about stevedoring, because that has always been a blind side to us. Like, I started my career from freight forwarding and now I'm working with the manufacturer. So
guys, background someone has to mute.
Although we know the basics now, the stevedoring aspects of what happens inside the port, got a couple of visits there. Thank you to John sir and Jeshimam. We got to experience the port as well. But then wanted to know from your perspective on how this happens, and we've got an idea now through this session. And more than that, the inspiring part of it was the best takeaway from this session. And like our Howden, the company that I work with, in the background you can see our vision drives us. So the vision is very important. Maybe the logic doesn't fit in sometimes to the vision that we're trying to head on to, but we always reach that. So thank you for being that hope that anything is possible. That just depends on the vision that we have for ourselves, for our country, for ourselves, for our organization. So that way, I'm journeying with BSLS for the past 3 years. Being part of, I'm very grateful to sir and ma'am to allow us to keep that learning curve going. Like, even now we are learning and we're in this session, they allowed us to join. So I'm thankful for ma'am and sir for this opportunity as well. And thank you too, sir.
Thank you, Varun. Good luck to you. As I say, I can't say it enough. Everybody needs a strategy and a vision document, a plan. And I'm glad I can read that. It says our vision drives us right behind you. So please convey my congratulations to your owners, to your management. I think that that's the cornerstone of any success. So good luck to you in your career.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot.
Thank you, Varun. Yeah. Anyone else? Any questions quickly for? Or you can give a feedback also, because a lot of information was shared, probably which you thought was a key takeaway for you from today's session. Probably you can share your feedback.
Dear students, when I was working with Ishwar, first time I called him sir, and he said, call me Ishwar. And I was like, that was the first cultural shock he gave me. How could I call my boss? Until today, I call him Ishwar. And I'll tell you, the respect has not lost, it has gone up. And I used to work with an American based company called APL. There again, I used to call me Paul Moss, Paul, I mean, just by the first name. So that's a cultural shift you guys should have when you go to logistics. But just because Paul Moss asked me to call Paul, I don't say, Macham, Paul, come along with me. That should not be the wrong signal you should take. That, because in our industry, it's people's business, right? So people need the trust and the faith. So that's the relationship we share with our bosses. And you guys, when you work along, also you should. So don't feel nervous to ask a question. You should always used to say me, ask me the question, even if it's idiotic. At least let me remove that idiotic. Or maybe there is a logic in your mind, or there's something missing in your mind. You can clear it up. Okay, I used to ask vague questions, which even now I feel like it's idiotic. But that time it was idiotic for me. But then at least I had these. So ask anything, even if it means you can ask in Tamil if you want. I mean, there's no issue. That's the biggest struggle we have in the education system today is they are all technical guys, but unable to express themselves with basic English, which is actually hampering their success factor. They are very knowledgeable. They have very good logical thinking, and they are very intellectual in terms of they come from tier 2, tier 3 cities. But then what is affecting them is basic present tense, past tense. They say like, I came tomorrow. We know what they're trying to say. So we are trying to keep something called, I created something called BCC, BSLS Business Communication Club, where they try to bridge their knowledge to communication skills. So they don't ask because they're nervous of asking questions because of language as a barrier. So I did not know. I'm struggling with that. Some students are not able to pass through to
That's the
get your
challenge, John, that not just you, everybody. That's where we say that's the differentiator. Not English doesn't have to be the language. For those of you, don't feel discouraged that if you, we don't look only for that. We look for abilities to grasp a topic or grasp an idea. So you will learn English skills. When Kapil Dev bowled for India first in 1977, he couldn't string together 2 words of English. Okay, he just couldn't speak English to save his life. I'm going to put a gun to his temple. He will say, "Shoot me, but I will not speak English." And look, from there, he led the Indian team. He won the World Cup, and today he can't stop from talking English. So that's not the language. Yes, is important to communicate, but don't let it limit you. Okay? Make an attempt to learn those skills. There are any number of places that you can go and pick up reasonably good English speaking skills. Finally, it's the content. It's what you think in your mind. It's how you deliver it. It's the ideas that you generate that will actually make you a differentiator.
I used to tell them, think in your mother tongue, because that's the most powerful way.
Absolutely.
Only the outgoing is English. So just basically learn the plural.
Think in your mother tongue. There's no better advice than that.
Morning, sir.
Your brain is the most fertile when you're thinking in a language that you're comfortable.
Yes, someone said good morning. I mean, who's that?
Sir, Razin, sir.
Yeah, please, Razin, go ahead.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you said you have started in one startup in at the age of 31. In that age, you have seen a lot of things during the whatever you are in that age. You will be more knowledgeable, and I think you will have more learning. For us, I'm at the age of just 23. So if I want to willing to start a own startup, whether I have to work in a particular company to learn something, or I should openly enter into a own startup. It's my question, sir.
Razin, right? Is your name?
Yes, sir. Razin.
Razin, have you seen this movie called Social Networking?
Yes, sir.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Did he have any work experience when he started Facebook?
No.
Where is Facebook today?
Yes.
Okay. It's an idea. You can have an idea when you're 23, 24, 25. I had no idea. I told you, I confessed. I had no idea what I was doing when I started the company. Okay. But I built Viking Shipping into a brand that is even today remembered. The company was called Viking Shipping, and it became a brand that even in 2021 is still remembered for the work it did. So it is all about an idea that you get, something that you're passionate about, something that you feel that you want to spend your life exploring, doing. Okay. So it doesn't come with a number. It doesn't come with an age. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If I knew what I was doing, I would have started the company earlier. I had no clue. So don't get limited by the fact that you need, yes, work experience is undoubtedly something that will help you realize. Perhaps you're working in a company, you see something that's being done so badly that you feel that with the particular idea you have, you can do it better. So that's the seed capital that you have. Go and find somebody to support you to start a company and to do it. Don't be limited by that. Be encouraged by your the passion or the ideas that you get, or something that you're deeply passionate about, committed to doing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
At 31, I knew a lot of things, but I didn't know what business I wanted. So eventually, I discovered it going along the way, and that's how it is.
So in logistics, whatever the transport, it may be hugely if you're doing a transport business or shipping or air cargo, different verticals in that. Each in the lockdown, I assumed that this is the only field which is much affected by other field. Even the automobile field industry got affected. but this field got affected much, like the this is the achievements. And can you say about why it is?
So I'll tell you, in any recession, okay, so COVID translated to a recession, right? There's a slowdown in industrial output, and so there's a recession. So in a recession, the first person who gets hit is the logistician. Why? Because there's no cargo to move. So what is a logistician? He's a typical B2B player.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a service provider in the middle of something. So when the two either sides of the something don't perform, what can the service fellow provide? So it's always the air cargo agent, the ship agent, the stevedore, the transporter, the B2B provider who is going to be hit first. But conversely, the minute it starts picking up, the greatest demand will be placed on these service providers.
Yes.
Because now everybody wants that service. Everybody is looking for that service because they're now in a hurry to start production. They're in a hurry to start shipments. So whom will they go to? They'll go to these B2B service, the logistician, to say, okay, man, I'm ready to move. I want your warehouse. I want your trucks. I want your, aeroplanes. I want whatever it is that you do, to help me move the goods. So that's the, in a recessionary trend, the first hit is the B2B service provider in the logistics space. And when the recession lifts, the first person to do well will always be the logistician.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
But good question, Razin. It was
Nihal here.
replacing with Nihal, please.
Yeah, no question, but just want to say a massive thank you. The way you shared your life experience with the industry, it's simply amazing. And you also explained about the job scope within the country. It's so good. And the last thing is that 7 points for the bright future. I should really follow those more strictly. So that will be very good for me. I still have 2.5 months in the class and 3 months of internship. I'll get back. I'll try to achieve what I want to achieve. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So John, don't make too much money out of the 7 habits of Ishwarachanka.
I like the 6th point where you said you are not a cog in a machinery. No, that really makes me feel important. When I say me, everybody should feel important. You are just not one speck in the entire. The self-esteem about what you're doing. I picked up that point very, seriously today. I said, I used to always say I'm a small institute. Now I'm not going to say I'm a small institute. I'm an institute to training people, mind, touching lives.
Your bit. You're doing your bit to place people, with opportunities to work, earn a living, and also you are, fitting the jigsaw pieces for the big value chain of India.
And yesterday, normally internship are unpaid because the employer is training them. Off late, I found a trend. The employer feels training is an investment time and I will pay him for internship, but still I can divorce him if he doesn't fit me. But at least for those 3 months, these guys are paid. In a COVID situation, Jayashree placed a person in a company called Renus Logistics for a 15,000 rupees, but the appointment letter said intern. I said, whatever it is, the guy is from a tier 2 city. He is struggling. And for the company to have faith to train him, okay, it could be one person, but I'm touching a family. That is where I feel that one point you said, I'm not just a cog in a machinery. And thanks, Ishwar, that 7 points, that was very powerful point which went into my mind.
Thank you.
You just not, and now I relate that with my LIBA convocation pass out ceremony where the dean was making a statement. In LIBA, we do not teach you how to make a living, but how to live. It's 30 years since I heard that statement. It still lingers in my, he is no more, but then whenever I go to Loyola College to the cemetery, I tell him, Father, thanks for saying that one word. LIBA never teaches you how to make a living, but how to live.
Good.
Guys, knowledge, degrees, knowledge is important. Degrees, all these things are, but then the values some of people who in your life put in you, that is something which actually keeps running all the time.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to ask any questions, please?
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please. Put them on spotlight so that the student feels that.
Who is that?
Jafar.
Yeah.
Jafar. Yeah, hi Jafar. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, good afternoon.
Take me off the spotlight, please.
Hmm?
Take me off the spotlight.
Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Jafar.
Nice to be part of your guest lecture, sir. I have a question. But what is the role of stevedoring company in future in the changing world of internet and everything, and how they're going to accommodate to be part of this internet world and birthing a kind of vessel and on time and departing a vessel on time, how it's going to take place in future, sir?
Jafar, are you connected to the Adanis in any way?
No, sir.
No. And did you read this question on the net to ask me, or is it something you thought of?
No, generally I'm asking, sir.
One second. Yes. Right. So, if you read an interview of mine that came out last month in a magazine called India Sea Trade, okay, I had written a very strong letter to the Honorable Minister of Shipping to say that the policies of the government of India are trying to push the stevedore out of existence by handing over our precious assets to private companies like Adani. Okay. Today, IoT, okay, IoT devices can never replace hardcore physical work on a ship. Okay. There are certain cargoes which comprise perhaps of 200 to 250 million metric tons of cargo in a year that will require stevedoring even in the next 100 years, because we simply cannot mechanize those processes. They may have said this in 1950 that you can't mechanize coal. Do you know the port of Singapore, today PSA, which is the world's biggest port, sent people to Chennai port, then known as Madras Port Trust, to study how coal is unloaded. And do you know how coal was being unloaded? Women would carry coal on a basket on the head and come down from the ship and dump it on the ground. Singapore wanted to study that and take it back to their country. So maybe in 1950, they would have thought, oh, we can never mechanize coal. Massive cranes that will now pick it up with the grab and dump it and get. That is not the case in certain cargoes that will continue to receive physical stevedoring. So the business of stevedoring will continue. It may not be the most profitable business going forward. It will become one of those businesses that a composite company would provide in a, when the port is handling a wide range of commodities, a lot of it which is mechanized, there will be one segment of it which will actually require stevedoring, and that company will provide that stevedoring services. For instance, steel cargoes, billets, coils, when you're loading barite powder or cobblestones, or, there are many commodities that still require stevedoring. Now, in terms of technology advancements, okay, what technology will do for stevedoring is it will capture the inefficiency or the efficiency of the system and give us real-time updates on implementing systems to improve. See, finally, the biggest risk for a ship is not the time it spends on the ocean. They're built to combat the ocean. The biggest risk for a ship owner is the time that he loses loading and unloading, which is the reason why they go to terminals or appoint stevedores who are efficient, who can quickly turn around. You would have studied the concept of a quick turnaround in your course. I'm sure John and Jesse have taught you that. All right. So that is the biggest risk element in an entire shipping venture. So these technology it's already doing it. We have a data analytics firm. My son runs that. And we work with IoT devices to provide real-time data analytics of how that operation is going, so that the operating guys don't have to wait for another day to learn what is happening. They can spot something that is happening so they can quickly correct it. So that is what technology will do going forward. So perhaps we will reach a very utopian level of technology that will assist in hardcore stevedoring. That will happen because the way technology is advancing, we are seeing changes every day. It's sometimes difficult for us to cope with the new devices. Blockchain is not something that I'm comfortable with, because blockchain has not proven to be efficient like Maersk Line has shown, or MSC, I think, was trying to do. So we are still way away from those, technological advances. But for hardcore shipping, yes, there will be real-time improvement in efficiencies and operating parameters with the technology.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Can you replace
Yeah.
Sadik with the person who's asking the question? Who's this? Yeah.
Nihal,
Yeah, Nihal, come back.
yeah, you said in COVID challenges, over dependence on China. Is it changing nowadays? Like for the past 2 years, is it reducing? The dependency level is reducing because, like, I go right now. I go through the stuff around me. My phone says it's assembled in China. My mouse says it's made in China. I don't know. Is it changing the dependency level?
So tell me, Nihal, is the
Yeah.
entire country running on your mouse and your phone?
No, sir. Because
Not.
the stuff I around.
That's okay. That is you. But take India as a whole. Okay.
Okay.
So no doubt. I mean, one of the key factors of what we discovered is over dependence on China. But definitely, we are moving towards a situation where what is Atmanirbhar? What does Mr. Modi want from us? The concept of Atmanirbhar is make in India. So tomorrow, my friend, don't buy that Asus phone that you're using. Buy one Bharat phone and use it. I mean, it's easy for me to say I have an iPhone, perhaps which is made in China, no doubt about it. Okay, but that's what our Prime Minister wants us to do. That's what the Prime Minister is asking the citizens of this country to become more self-reliant. So if you are saying today, yesterday China, today India, no, it's a process. How can you replace a whole value chain overnight? It will take time, but to answer your question, we are seeing it happening. It is work in progress. Okay, it's work on the ground. And I'm very confident that in my lifetime, I will see that change from over dependence on China to more dependence on Atmanirbhar. And I'm working towards it. I'm one of those key proponents of Atmanirbhar. We can do better than the foreigner can do. And I have shown it in international sports administration, a game that was invented by the white man, excelled by the white man. Now the Indians are doing better. So it's across. Indian seafarers are the most sought after seafarers on this planet. Okay, it took the government a long time to realize that our seafarers needed a vaccination because we were losing jobs to Filipinos and others who are getting vaccination. Only now they've understood it, so they're doing it. So Indians are there everywhere. You take the UK cabinet. I think there are 6 Indians. Britons of Indian origin. You take the United States by Joe Biden's cabinet. There are any number of Americans of Indian origin. So we are there everywhere.
Vice President of US itself is Indian origin.
Okay, Kamala doesn't want to acknowledge that, but even though the people of her village think that she's Kamala,
they are celebrating. See, the Silicon Valley, Nihal, to answer you, the Indians built the Silicon Valley. And the mouse that you're using, maybe like an Indian is sitting in Chinese factory and doing it. See, the concept or the idea could have been there, but then the Indian guys, see, we are more analytical. The problem is we don't recognize we are analytical. We are the best brains. The problem is we don't use it. I mean, so.
But Nihal, you need to work towards. You are young enough to understand that, we are going back to the 1930s, man, Swadeshi movement. What is the Swadeshi? But then if you study history,
yeah,
that is it.
They burned the cloths.
Yes, they burned the
cloth. Brought it, right? So, self-reliance, I mean, what Prime Minister Modi says, it's not going to happen tomorrow, as Ishwar said. It is a movement that you at your age, probably Gandhiji said, be the change that you want to see. Don't ask where is the change going to come from. Okay. So it took so many years to go to make China to produce, and it so many years to come back to lift the factory and then come to India. So at least the awareness, at least the starting point has started in our lifetime. Good, Nihal. Good.
Good.
I think they got too much scared that China, anything cheap, we say buy it from China. But why is COVID so stable? I mean, students have a doubt, sir. Anything is China is like cheap product, 10 rupees one bulb. But Corona alone is like a guarantee for 2 years it is staying around. So guys have so many thoughts about China. Any other question, guys?
Sir, one thing, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, one thing. Sir, the Apple phone, the motherboard is no motherboard. Apple phone motherboard. Nanometer processor. It was who is Indian. It was built by the Indian.
Okay.
iPhone 12 is nanometer processor is built by an Indian name called Sriram. I think so. May be wrong.
So John, Jayashree, can we take one last question?
Yeah.
I need to run.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Any other questions? Okay, I think that's it, Ishwar.
Good. Okay.
I don't want to take much time. I have taken a lot of mileage using your time. And I'll say you a big thanks from the bottom of my heart, Ishwar. I'm amazed to have you. I mean, so thrilled to have you here.
So thank you, Jayashree. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure to engage with young minds.
Yeah.
I do hope that if even 5% of what I said permeated, I'd be very gratified. And, I can't tell you that, tell you more that it's always a pleasure for me to work with youngsters to shape their minds. So good luck to all of you. Good luck to BSLS.
Thank you.